All right, welcome back for our 11th edition of season previews here as we get into our coaches' interviews courtesy of Saskatchewan Construction Safety Association. And today, of course, we are talking to the defending champions, the Melfort Mustangs, and we're joined today by head coach and general manager Trevor Blevins. Trevor, thanks for joining us today. How's everything going as the summer unfortunately winds down?
Yeah, it's too bad. It seems like it's coming around quick, and we'll take the short break that we had from the success from last season for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Trevor, we'll talk about the on-ice product in a moment here, but in terms of summer, you're a dad of 5 teenage kids. I have 1 preteen myself, and that's hard enough. So what kind of stuff did you get up to this summer with the family?
Well, lots of golf, lots of ball too earlier this summer, but we actually spent some time at the lake, which was nice for a change this year, and so got a lot of quality family time in, and it's perfect. And now things are heated up for the season.
Love lake time. That's perfect. Let's take a look back at last season. Obviously, a strong and exciting season for the Mustangs, leading to your 3rd league championship as a head coach. And looking back now, you've had the summer to kind of let it soak in. I'm not sure if it has soaked all in yet, but Trevor, but 2-part question here. What were your biggest takeaways from last season, and what is it like going through an off season preparing for the next season as a champion compared to a non-champion, I guess, so for lack of a better term?
Yeah, last season, a huge takeaway just was the quality of team that we had. I couldn't be more proud of the players, each and every guy. And, we had some APs even contribute some heavy minutes and contribute offensively and in the playoff run. And, that's what I'm going to take away the most is just each and every player, and their experience. And, we have to say goodbye to 9, 20-year-olds, but at the end of the day, it's memories and experiences you'll never forget, and I think that was what's going to be huge for everyone down the road.
What about the summers, I guess? How different is a summer after winning a championship compared to non-winning, and how does that affect your roster building going into a new season?
Well, I think a lot of it was we didn't have a lot of turnover. Everyone's back that is either healthy enough or could come back, with the exception of James Venn. But it's we're pretty excited. As far as the difference, I don't see much of one other than a short break. But we did well on the recruiting side. We made some acquisitions, and to be honest, I think these guys are hungry, ready to go, and try and compete for another one.
Yeah, and obviously you mentioned a few of the names there, but you graduated some very important players to your team. But that just means that there's going to be some big opportunities opening up, and there's a lot of good spots for players to fill in for. And so, before we get to any returning players, was there anyone that you were able to add over the summer, maybe that you're excited to get starting to work with?
Well, on the defense side of things, Nick Andrusiak will be huge. He has great experience. He's got experience in the SJHL, but also in the Western Hockey League. Got to play recently with the Saskatoon Blades and was a big piece of their defense core. And we had got to see him a little bit over the summer here, and he's a phenomenal skater. He's got skill. He should be one of the top defensemen in the league this year, and not, and more importantly, is a quality individual and a character that's through the roof that will definitely wear a letter for us and be part of our leadership group. The other guy we picked up was Riley Kotai. He's from the Austin Bruins in the North American Hockey League. He's a 20-year-old also, and just to round out an older forward for us with experience again up front will be huge. And another one is Saden Saddlemeyer from Regina Beach, who played in Fort McMurray last year. He's an 05 forward that plays with a lot of jam and a lot of grit, and plays with a high motor that we like to have here in Melfort.
So yeah, obviously up front, you talked about some defensemen there, you talked about some forwards, but up front, Hutchinson, Sleva, Duguay. I don't need to say much more than that. Those guys were instrumental to your championship run, obviously, the whole season in general. But how nice is it to have a guy like Logan Belton coming back, for example, maybe even a Zach Summers, for example, with a little bit of that experience, and so maybe some of the other guys you can mention that are coming back. You mentioned everyone's going to be returning who's pretty much eligible to be. So how big is it to have some guys like that coming back for you?
Well, I think it's huge. Like, before I get to Logan, I think our 05 group is going to be fantastic. based on the playoff run that they had last year and the experience that they got through the regular season. And so, when you look at those kind of players up front, and Caleb Binner, Braden Westerland, Austin Shepard, Nolan Patterson, they're heavy players. They play the right way, and we're really excited for them. And but when look at a guy like Logan Belton and Red Hamilton, they're two 20-year-olds that are coming back up front. They're expected to produce, and they did produce last year, and they played big roles for us. So we expect them to hit the ground running for sure. And we're excited about some young guys too, with Jackson Carrick being an '07 forward that was very, very instrumental for us. At the end of the last year, we seen a big progression on him, even from when he joined us at the end of the Tisdale season to when he finished off with us in Oakville. He improved a ton and got quality minutes, and Tristan Ziola too. So that's just to name a few. I know I probably went through the whole lineup, but I mean, we got exciting recruiting class, and we're pretty happy with what we got coming in to compete, and I think we'll be able to hit the ground running, like I said.
Well, that's perfect. And I mean, one of the biggest reasons you guys were able to put together such an impressive championship run was that next man up mentality. You mentioned guys like Jackson Keurig, for example. Who are a couple of guys that you're excited to give a bit of a bigger role to now that they're going to be one of the older kids, or maybe one of the younger kids even stepping up? Who's a guy that you're like, oh yeah, this guy's going to really take this and run with it?
I'm really excited for Christian Coombs, to be honest, in our net. He's probably the hardest working player I've ever coached in my junior career. He is on the ice first, off the ice last, in the gym, a lot. And he puts the work in, and he's not afraid to, stay out with the players and make them better too. And, for a backup role last year, he was, couldn't ask for a better individual. So excited for him in Oakville when he got the win against the Oakville Blades too, and had some key starts for us too. And so, for him, he deserves the opportunity. There's no one in his corner more than I am, and the rest of this dressing room. So I know they'll play hard in front of him, and he's going to have a good start and good opportunity.
So on the blue line, I mean, Melfort's kind of been a defenseman factory over the last several seasons. I'd say one of the stronger groups year in, year out. Once again, you graduated the likes of Leith Olafson, Chase Freetmore, Nolan Henderson. And you mentioned Nick Andrusiak. You acquired him way back. It feels like forever ago, way back in June from Melville. And you guys have some returning guys as well. Can you just talk about your blue line group, I guess, and how confident you are in them coming into the preseason?
Yeah, well, I think it's no secret that it should be a fairly decent blue line. And, when you have Ty Thornton, who stepped in playoff time, he was broken collarbone literally right at Christmas time or just after. He's going to probably, obviously wear a letter for us and be instrumental, but he's going to contribute offensively. And, he was our top defensive defenseman, in my opinion, last year with our group. And, to him to be back. And then Nolan Roberts, who's as tough to play against as anybody, I would say. And he's got some intangibles in his game, but also, he's got a sneaky offensive side too. He's got a heavy shot and definitely likes to get in the rush. And he's skilled more than people would think. And, we got Cole Unger and Bo Eisner as 05s that are coming back that were, in our top six. And, to round it out, you got Dan Cox, who's actually played forward for us last year. You have him come back. We're going to try him at defense. That's his preferred position, but it's sure nice to have a Swiss Army knife with him to, move up front or on the back end when needed. So, again, you round that out with some recruits, and, it should be pretty decent 8 guys back there.
Yeah, versatility is never a bad thing in terms of Danton Cox being able to go both ways like that. Trevor, obviously on the ice last year, a ton of success. It always leads into the summer. And how much impact has that had, I guess, in the business side of things? I always like to talk about that because as a former marketing guy in the league myself, I know how much it's very much 2 big portions. It's the off-ice stuff, it's the on-ice stuff. Has the community kind of rallied behind the championship? Have you seen that reflected, I guess, in the business offices?
Yeah, it has. And, it's one thing we've noticed is some season ticket rise, and we hope that momentum continues to go. And we definitely have more people coming to the rink here to start the year, which is nice to see and huge for the group. And, we just can't thank Melfort enough. It was a fantastic playoff run. And, I think the players did a great job showcasing the product that the Melfort Mustangs have in the community and surrounding area, and did a great job attracting people and keeping them here. So, again, that's what we need. We need people in the stands, right, to survive, and the support that we get here. We can't be more appreciative of it.
You love to hear it. So, Trevor, obviously, I have to ask you your goals for the upcoming season. You can't say repeat championship because I know that that's probably the top of the list. But what are some of your goals and targets for this upcoming season for the Mustangs outside of that?
Well, I think we want to continue on with the momentum of moving players on to NCAA Division One. That's, huge for us as far as the Zach Summers, Aiden Hutchinson, Ryan Duguay. But I feel we've got some quality young guys coming in too that can compete. Whether you talk about Jackson Carrig or Tristan Ziola or some of our second years, our 20-year-olds with Ty Thornton and Logan Belton will definitely have, and Riley Cote will definitely have some looks, I would think, and get some exposure. So we want that for sure. We pride ourselves in developing players for not only today but in the future. And I think when you start from the ground up and work from the bottom up with every player, you see success from the top. So that's our mentality, and that's always seemed to be our good recipe.
Well, with your track record, Trevor, I don't doubt that that'll happen at all. And really appreciate your time here, Trev. Obviously, with preseason coming up and approaching very fast, I'll let you get back to work. And we can't wait to chat with you again once the season gets underway.
Right on. I appreciate you guys having me on. It's just a good thing that Noogsy isn't doing this interview, and you are, and we appreciate all the effort you put in. No, Jamie, we love
He
we
is
love you all.
he
the
is
time.
beside
Yeah.
me, so we're all having a good laugh. Trevor,
No,
anytime you can talk about hockey where we're still wearing shorts in the late summer, early fall, it's a good time in
yeah.
my book. So again, thank you for joining us today, Trev.
Thank you very much.